So welcome to part 3 of my examination of Paul Washer and Joel Beeke's conversation regarding Joel's book titled Being the Man of God. Now I'm slowly working my way through this long interview, and there's just a ton of truth that I want to examine and kind of exert and break apart. It gives me a chance to refresh certain things that I may have not been putting enough emphasis on in my own personal life. So let's get into the clip, and then I'll go ahead and give my take after.
I've been doing family material, husband-wife relationships, parents, children, for a long time. And I published a book with Ligonier called Parenting by God's Promises, How to Raise Your Children in the Covenant of Grace, which is really the fruit of about 30, 40 of these talks. So this book is the fruit of another 4 or 5 of these talks, but I condensed it back down to try to keep it succinct because, dads are so busy and husbands are so busy. I wanted to just give it to them as short and to the point as it says on the cover.
Well, one of the things that I believe in teaching based on 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, is that true biblical teaching, it teaches, it reproves, shows you where you're wrong, but then it corrects, gives you that course correction. And then through these means, it's training you in righteousness. So you're looking at the truth, you're being reproved where you're wrong, you're being lovingly corrected, and you keep doing that over and over. But sometimes in family books, let's move it outside of the family. In a book on justification that say it's 500 pages, full of wonderful truth, but then it's difficult when someone finishes reading, if you say to them, give me the 10 most important statements about justification. It's very hard to do that. I find the same thing sometimes in family, where with this book, what I'm able to do is, okay, it's teaching me things, okay? But then it's showing me, Paul, you're wrong here. You're just wrong. And then it's like, okay, this is how we're going to course correct. But with this book, I can use it not as a one-time read. I can use it to train me in righteousness because I can keep going back to it. Doesn't take very long to read it. And I can go, okay, yeah, those are the major points. And yes, in the last month, I've dropped the ball here. I could have given more emphasis here. And then as someone does that, they're being trained. And that's what this book does for me. When I teach someone to shoot a bow, for example, a long bow, I'll go read the book. They'll read the book. Then I'll go, okay, shoot. And I'll go, no, your feet. Change the stance that you have. And then they'll shoot a couple and they'll go, change your stance again, change your arm angle. And that's what this does. It's teaching you, but then it doesn't leave you. If you keep going back to it, it goes, okay, now remember what we said. This month you dropped that, so let's go back to it. That's why I love this book.
So Brother Joel begins the clip with expressing that the emphasis on why he wrote this book, basically alluding to the reality that interpersonal relationships within a marriage and a family need structure. They need it. Structure and a type of discipline to be successful. And it's not true of a family or a marriage. It's true also of a man's job. Anything you want to become good at, there has to be structure, backed up by discipline. So books like this, and the book that I'm talking about is the book titled Being the Man of God, are very important when it comes to direction, okay? Now, what do I mean by direction? Without direction, meaning an understanding of your duty within the family dynamic, you will be lost, literally, okay? This is why there are so many marriages outside of Christ that are just broken and destroyed, okay? There is no direction. Everyone's just doing what they feel is right in their own heart. Now, we know how that happened, or how that turned out for Israel in the book of Judges, when there was no king and they desired for no king. Every man wanted to do what was right in their own heart. They had no direction, and this led to chaos and destruction, resulting basically in them wanting a king. They desired direction. They desired structure. The reason Christian marriages work is because ultimately we are not serving ourselves. We are not doing it willy-nilly, freely, however it comes. Okay? We are serving the King of Kings, and this King has given us a new heart and birthed a fear of him within us. That's very important. Okay? There is a fear of God in every true believer, but not just a fear, a changed heart as well. We all now desire, and I'm speaking about those that have truly been born again, true Christians. Okay, you got to be very careful with the word Christian. I always include true because there are so many people calling themselves a Christian and they know nothing of what that means. Okay, so the only way a marriage or a family is going to make it is in Christ. That's just a fact. God created marriage, he instituted it, and he laid the bylaws by the way in which it would work. It's like attempting to put together a toy that has 800 pieces without looking at the directions. Okay? It's just not going to work. So, attempting to do marriage without Christ is a death sentence. And we see this all over the place. Divorces left and right. Now, I love how Paul Washer used the concept of being trained through the nature of repetitiveness. Okay, you learn to do something, but that isn't enough. You have to do it over and over and over again to truly grasp it. And this is true of anything, whether it be a new job, or learning to do a new hobby, or whatever. Okay, we don't get it right just the first time. We've got to do it over. We've got to do it over, and it's amazing how each time we redo it, we tend to learn something new about it. Okay. And it's amazing how, I was just thinking, it's amazing how God created the mind. It's the mind, the human mind is absolutely amazing. That we can literally, I remember when I was a kid, we're talking, 10, 11 years of age. I was into skateboarding. Okay, I had friends that were into skateboarding. I remember getting on the skateboard the first time. I literally stood on it, like just took one foot, put it on it, and the thing went out from my feet and I almost fell back and hit my head. Just like that. But I got up and did it again. And then I did it again. And I did it again. And it was like 5 months went by. And now I'm riding down the street on it. I'm doing kick flips. I'm doing ollies. I'm jumping with it. It's amazing how the mind, through repetitiveness, will literally like learn in itself. The brain center will learn. And then it will allow the body to respond. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing if you really think about that. The way God has created the human brain and how it sends the signals to the body to move a certain way and to adjust the movement, so now you can able to do that flip. It's mind-boggling. God is glorious in his creation, and his IQ has to be, there's literally no number for God's IQ. He's just, smart is not, there's no word for his intelligence. God is absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's what I took away from that clip. Yeah, I can't wait to dwell deeper into this clip. There's so much truth and knowledge here. I'm learning. So yeah, so thank you all for listening.